Hi, I'm James Allberger,
And I'm Penny Abshire.
and we're the voice acting team with Voice Acting Academy. And we have a very special webinar here for you today. We're going to be interviewing Bill Russell. And if you don't know who Bill Russell is, that's him right over there.
That's the
Yeah.
guy.
We're going to.
Yeah, we're going to be interviewing him. And Bill is a very talented guy. We're going to be talking about his voiceover work, his music, his songwriting, and a bunch of other things. And we're going to have a very special preview performance and viewing of his brand new video, Better Than Ever. And if you've been following Bill on Facebook, you know a little bit about it, but you'll have a chance here today to see the entire video. And we've got some other surprises for you along the way.
Indeed.
We will be sending you, at the end of this interview, we'll be giving you the website and more information about how you can buy Bill's CDs and a CD. It's got 5 songs on it for $5. So, it's, what a deal. And you can get the CD. It's a downloadable product. And we'll show you how to get that at the end of this interview. So for right now, we want to introduce and welcome Mr. Bill Russell.
Bill Russell.
Thank you, Mr. Albert.
Bill, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. This is so cool.
Yeah.
I came all the way to LA just for this. And,
Yeah. And you're actually in San Diego.
And I'm actually in San Diego.
So go figure.
Oh, wait, yeah. I'm in San Diego.
Yeah. How did that happen?
I know. No, a nice drive and a tiny car.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
tiny
I
car.
was tiny.
Tiny little car. So we want to welcome you to our voice acting
Man,
studios.
Thank you again for having me. This is really awesome.
Okay, we're so pleased to be able to sit down and talk to you and
Yeah.
introduce you to the voiceover community, those who don't already know who you are.
Yes.
We'll know about him after
Yeah,
this.
You'll know about him real soon.
Oh, yep, you will.
So we've known you for a couple of years now,
Yes, you have.
both vicariously and in person. And one of the main features of this particular webinar is we want to introduce people to your songwriting abilities, your performance as a singer and performer in that sense, but we'll also get into your voiceover work because you're just a wacky kind of guy in the voiceover world.
Yeah, the voiceover is where I really want to focus. The
Yeah.
music and stuff is just
It's-
the stuff
it's-
that I've been doing so long. And it's just the icing on the cake.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
That's all it is for me.
it is.
I love it.
But it's something in terms of voiceover work. There are a lot of voiceover situations that require singing,
Right.
and
Singing in character. and
singing
staying in
Yeah.
exactly
Staying.
singing in character.
Right.
Staying in character. Yeah.
And that's something that, for a lot of voice talent, that can be something very difficult to do or very challenging or something that's just outside of their capabilities.
Right.
Now, I've had to do that a couple of times. I've had some clients that have asked me to do some singing.
Right. Are you going to hear
so-
this?
Oh, no.
Well, no,
No.
because I don't consider myself a singer by any
Actually,
stretch.
you did a pretty good job.
I
as
did okay.
recall.
I did all right.
Okay.
But I had to play a big bear for one. I was a hummingbird, although the hummingbird didn't sing, but the bear sang, and
A parrot.
I was a parrot. Was it a parrot? I forget what the
parrot.
character was.
The parrot that was Jamaican.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that was a Jamaican parrot, which was interesting because they don't have parrots in Jamaica.
Right.
But oh well.
Nevertheless, it was really good.
But it was fun. It was a
It was
fun
fun.
fun gig, and I did some singing, and that was loads of fun.
Mhm.
But when I was doing the singing, it just gave me a whole new appreciation for singers
Mhm.
because I'm good at character voice. I'm good with a commercial delivery, with a medical narration, but you put that singing component in there, and everything changes.
It's a whole new level.
Yeah.
But
Heck, even the character can change.
oh, sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to have a voice actor, I mean, from a production point of view or a producer's point of view, having a voice actor that can do that too and stay in characters, that's pretty valuable.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
we decided that Bill is much more than even a triple threat. He does so much. So we're hoping that in this interview, we'll introduce him to you and you'll understand all the things that Bill Russell can do.
Yes.
Yes.
So let's get started though with let's just touch a little bit on some of your voiceover work.
Okay.
And then we'll move into the singing side of things because really this voiceover is really what we're here for.
Right.
That's what the whole voiceover community is all about is how do we get better at our voiceover work. So let's just start at the beginning. What inspired you initially to get into voiceover to begin with?
My ex-wife, actually, sad. I was sitting around just like everybody else. We all do the silly voices, don't we? Yeah. So I was just doing the silly voices, and that's when we talked about cartoons and mentioned a young lady who taught voice acting in in Tennessee, Nashville, named Lindy White Winter, who is from LA. And she moved there to work into the industry and had been in New York too, so she knew a lot about it. And got to demonstrate and be in front of the microphone doing a character. And I was like, this is what I want to do.
Mhm.
And it was just that's all it was. It was just an introductory thing. And I went, at that point, that's what I wanted to do. And it took me several years. I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know where to go. Money wasn't there. It was just every little thing kept getting in the way, and I kept finding obstacles for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 years ago, my bud Joe Lesh just popped up one afternoon. I was talking to him, and I met him through actually doing my demo from him years ago.
Mhm.
And then we met up again. And then one day he said, have you thought about doing a pay-to-play website? I went, nope, never have. And he said, well, I can get you in at a special introductory offer for like the first month. And then at that point, you just get in there, or they have an introductory now. You get in, and once you pay, you're done. And you've done for a year, and you've got it in. And when you start finding the work, I'm like, okay, very positive thinking. At the time I was like, I couldn't get my positive thought going.
Mhm.
And everybody does that. It's just like trying to get past that point. And once I got to that, that's when he's, got me into that. And then 2 months later, I came across an audition for a company called Me Genius. And subsequently, after I auditioned for them, and 130 children's books later, narrating, that was it. I was like, okay, I'm doing narration, and I'm getting to do my character work, and I'm getting to polish it up on it and to show that I can maintain the voice and do exactly what I need to do for each character.
So one of your early voiceover gigs was to narrate 130 children's books
Yeah. In about a year and a half period, yeah.
with characters and everything.
Characters, everything.
Did
yeah.
you do singing in those as well?
No, I did not.
Just the narration.
I had
Okay.
been singing since I was 13, or actually younger than. I've been playing guitar since I was 13, but I've been singing since 5th, 6th grade. But I never thought of that 1 minute until Me Genius heard me play. And if you were at the convention, you saw me play that funky music, White Boy.
Yeah. Which we're going to play that video
Are you really?
Yeah.
in this webinar.
Okay.
That'll be coming up later on.
Okay.
So
If you haven't seen it,
if you have not seen that video, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But the video of Bill doing Play That Funky Music, White
Right.
Boy, that's the video that was the clincher for getting Bill at the Voice 2014 convention. And that just started the snowball rolling for the Better Than Ever song that you're going to see later tonight.
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's exactly what did it, and it did it out of a miscommunication with Penny and I.
Yeah, it was so funny because we'd met each other just kind of on the internet, so to speak, and
Facebook and messaging.
and Facebook and stuff. And
Wonderful stuff.
you wrote to me one time and was just asking some questions about the
Yeah,
convention.
you had posted about the
banquet.
the banquet, yes, and
banquet.
that it was going to be wonderful.
Right, and
I should go,
I
gotta
think
go.
actually you had written and said, "What's the cost of the banquet?" And I
Right.
said, "Well, whatever it is, it'll be worth your time. You'll really enjoy it. It'll be fun or something." I don't remember how I worded it.
You said at the last sentence was it'll be very entertaining, and then you went semicolon Yule. Actually, you went you went semicolon Yule or something like that. And I
Uh-huh.
went or Yule or no. You went period and then you went Yule. And the word Yule with the apostrophe LL looked like a double smile with a wink. And I didn't see it as Yule. I'm like,
Because I had
I'm
mistyped-
blind, okay? I was
Yeah.
blind when I was a kid.
Well,
So-
yeah, and I mistyped something.
But when I read it back, I was like, what? You want me to be the entertainment? And then her words, go ahead and say it.
I said, "Well, kid, what do you got?"
And then next thing you know, I'm showing her Play That Funky Music, White Boy.
Yeah, and
that was it. And then
Yeah.
subsequently after, that's when it moved into other areas because I was like, okay, I'm going to be performing for this thing. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then then we started about the children's books and what I'd done with them. And
Yeah.
that's when the singing and the music came in with the voice acting because then I told her I'd written 2 children's books, sing-along songbooks.
Mhm.
And
So that little light went off in my head that said, "He writes music."
right.
Well, the theme of the convention was Better Than Ever.
Right.
So I said to him, "Hey, Bill," called him one day, "Hey, Bill, how would you like to write a song?" You know, and it turned out that he said, "Well, sure, I can try that." And I think it was within I don't know, maybe just a week or so.
It was a couple, about
Couple
a week or
weeks.
two. I
Yeah.
had just picked up the
And-
ukulele for the first time. I've been playing guitar since I was 13, but picked the ukulele up for the first time, and it was my future stepson's ukulele, and it had the little dots on there, and I taught myself 2 chords. And then at that point, I started writing the song. I just had that idea, a melody, and then you said,
Right. Well, we need a song. We need a theme song
A
for
theme song,
voice,
right.
is what I said. And when I did that, I didn't have any idea that what it'd even be like. But I knew that I liked what I saw when Bill wrote. I mean, what I heard in the children's books and stuff. I knew I really liked that. So in about 2 weeks, he called me back, and I think, did you send me an MP3 or did you sing it for me?
I sang it on my phone. I
Yeah.
just put on my phone, recorded the chorus. I had just written the chorus with the melody and the ukulele, and then you said,
Well, it was amazing because when I listened to it, I already knew from the very beginning of it, I already knew that it was something special. And then there's a whole chorus with a kazoo. And honestly, when I first heard that, I just started to cry. And it wasn't because it was sad. It was because it was so perfect. It was just perfect. So boom, boom, boom. So I called him back and said, "This is incredible." He said, "Well, I've only got the melody line and some of the words, and there's going to be more." And I said, "I know, but this is what I want."
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
it was-
So we've set up better than ever. We've got a really nice teaser.
perfect.
And we're going to leave all of you in suspense because we're not going to play it for you right now.
right.
No,
No, because
Wait, no,
no, not now.
Now.
Not now.
No,
No.
no, not now. Sorry.
And no, not now. Well, a little bit later. We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
I want to get back to the voiceover stuff
Right. Excellent.
because when we were just talking, during our pre-interview before we started recording this, we were talking about some of the things that you've done and the creative side of some of the voiceover that you've worked on and that you've come up with. Some things that you can tell us where
Just
they
play.
came. Yeah, just play.
Just play.
Which is a great thing for voice talent to do.
Memorizing scripts, memorizing fun stuff that you love on movies or whatever.
Yeah, and testing and experimenting and playing with the voice placement.
Right. Maintaining character voices and doing spontaneously, or being able to do the character voices and do them one after the other in that kind of a
Right.
situation.
Yeah.
Because we had also talked about voice, not the voice. What's it? I Know That Voice.
Right, the movie.
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah.
And when they use the Shakespearean play part, or the soliloquy where it talks about all the roles of stage and men and women are merely players, it talks, goes from the baby stage, the infant stage, all the way to death. And in doing all the characters, or finding each character that you go through the phases of life and make each one a different character. And we were talking about that, and Castellano came up, and then it was like, okay, the only time I've ever done anything like that was memorizing a script through Monty Python, because I love, hello, Monty Python.
Yeah. Oh, they're great.
Who doesn't? But
Yeah.
I know some people that don't. Actually, and but it was one of those where when I first heard it, it was so weird hearing the peasant speech. When he first rides up to the little guy on the horse, he's not on a horse; he's just walking along. He's hooded, and I say horse,
Yeah.
coconuts, banging,
Right.
banging them
Right.
together. And he's pulls up to this guy Dennis, and he says, the first thing he pops out of his mouth is, "Old woman." So when I start doing the King Arthur bit, I instead of doing the Cockney, I changed it to a Southern, because I'm from Nashville. I'm from the
Sure.
South.
Why
I'm from
not?
Mississippi,
Why not?
Alabama, whatever. I was born in 3 states, and they. So I decided, okay, let's make this do a little more comfortable, being able to show my character work within even the Southern dialect. So I was like, okay, start off with the Englishmen walking up and have Southerners as the peasants. So old woman, man, sorry, what knight lives in that castle over there? I'm 37. What? I'm 37. I ain't old. Well, I can't just call you man. Well, you could say Dennis. Well, I didn't know you were called Dennis. Well, you didn't bother to find out then, did you? Well, I did say sorry about the old woman, but from behind you look. Well, I object. You automatically treat me like an inferior. Nice. Well, I am king, of course. Oh, king, eh? Where'd you get that? By exploiting the workers. By hanging on to outdated imperialist dogma which perpetuates the economic and social differences in our society. Now, if there's ever going to be any progress, and here comes the old lady. Oh, there's some lovely filth down here. Oh, to King Arthur, how do you do? Oh, how do you do, good lady? I am Arthur, King of the Britons. Who lives in that castle over there? King of the who? The Britons. Who are the Britons? We're all Britons, and I am your king. I didn't know we had a king. I thought we were an autonomous collective. You're fooling yourself. We're living in it. I went into a cockney there for a second. See how hard it is?
Yeah.
We're living in a dictatorship, a self-perpetuating autocracy in which the working classes, oh, well, there you go, bringing class into it again. Well, that's what it's all about. If only people would please, good people. Here comes King Arthur again. Please, good people, I am in haste. Who lives in that castle over there? No one lives there. Well, who is your lord? We don't have a lord. I got the good one in heaven, but we ain't gonna have a lord. What? I told you. We're in a narco-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as sort of executive officers of the week. Yes, I see. And all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified in a special bi-weekly meeting. Yes, but by a simple majority in the case of purely internal affairs, be quiet. But by a 2/3 majority in the case of... Be quiet! I order you to be quiet! Order? Who does he think he is, anyway? Well, I am your king. Well, I didn't vote for you. You don't vote for kings. Well, how in the earth did you become king then? The Lady of the Lake. The angel voices.
Uh-huh.
The Lady of the Lake. Her arm clad in the purest her arm clad in the purest shimmering samite held aloft Excalibur from the bosom of the water, signifying by divine providence that I, Arthur, was to carry Excalibur. That is why I'm your king. Listen, strange women lying in ponds is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power comes from a mandate from the masses, not through some farcical aquatic ceremony. Be quiet! I mean, if you expect to wield supreme executive power just because some old watery tart threw a sword at you, shut up! I mean, if I went around saying I was emperor just because some old boy invented on cemetery beach, they'd put me away. Shut up! Will you shut up? And he's grabbing him, shaking him. Oh, now we see the bones inheriting the system. Help! Help! I'm being repressed! Bloody peasant! Oh, and he stops him. What giveaway? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? And I almost went back in English again. You see how hard it is? Went back in English again. He said, "Did you hear that? He was repressing me. You saw him repressing me. You saw it, didn't you?" Dadgummit. What's my hair? It's my hair's bouncing around like Conan O'Brien. But that's what that's what it's like to stay in character, and that's what it's like to be able to bounce from one to the other. And I've been doing that crap since I've been doing that stuff since I was a kid. And just having fun with it, and having fun even doing, listening to cartoons or trying to mimic them and going between voices that I liked. And that's when I knew, when I was able to do that I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And after it was during that period of not working and building up to getting on to Me Genius, that I knew that that's where I needed to be.
I wanted to make a couple of comments about the character piece you just did. And this is something that in our workshops, we find this a lot with our students, is they're afraid to explore outside of their comfort zone.
Oh, yeah.
So
most people are.
Yeah, it's a common personality trait. We're very comfortable with who we are and what we do, and it gets uncomfortable to move past that and explore other options, other attitudes, other behaviors, other characters. And the mere fact that you were able to take yourself to that place where you could explore the attitude of the king,
Right.
the attitude and the personality of the peasants. It's that willingness to get out and explore, to test, to experiment, and to play. Because really that's what we need to do, is we need to, especially in animation and character work,
Oh, yeah.
we need to rekindle that child in us,
The
that
joyfulness.
playfulness, the joyfulness, so that we can actually do that. I mean, that's what I had to do when I was singing in character.
Isn't that what they want you to do, really?
Yeah.
They want you to explore playfulness. They want you to be that child. And then
Absolutely.
They can just
They
reel
can
you
pull you
in.
back
They can
in.
pull you back in.
But it's-
getting you up to that,
as a director,
It's-
it's really
yeah.
painful to try to get
Yeah.
people up to that level. So we would much rather have somebody just go way, way over the top because it's so much easier to bring them back down
And
to what
and
we want 'em.
and it's so much
me down.
easier to take our students over the top,
Mhm.
or to work with students who are able to get themselves out there, who have previously taken it upon themselves,
Mhm.
and have made that early effort to explore those possibilities and just explore those talents and capabilities.
Right.
And to try and the first time you ever do that is in a workshop, that can be a little
It's
daunting.
intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when we will find that when we give ourselves permission to be who we really are, and let that part of our personality come out and not be afraid of gaining any kind of acceptance from somebody else. It's
Fear is the mind
fear.
killer.
It is.
Oh,
Fear
absolutely.
is the mind killer. It truly is.
Absolutely is.
When we get past that point, it's like I tell students once in a while that I figured out pretty early on that the more ridiculous I look when I'm doing voiceover work, if it's character work, the better I sound. Well, that's a no-brainer. I'll look as ridiculous as I need to look if it makes me sound better.
hmm But a lot of people are self-conscious.
Very self-conscious. Well, we're
And-
kind of trained that way, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no, we're growing up with boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
But with me and my circumstances, I could say that I'm blessed to not have those boundaries when I was a kid.
That's
But
wonderful.
then, well, it was when I was a kid. And then when you get older and you don't have boundaries, you step on a lot of people's feet that you're going, I didn't mean to. I'm just being myself. And you're
Uh-huh.
going, that's not appropriate. You're fired.
Mm.
So I want to be in an industry where I won't get fired for stepping on people's
You
toes.
won't get fired
Yeah.
for being
That's what
wild
I
and
love,
crazy,
you know.
that's for sure.
So
Yeah.
I know how to do that now. I mean, being 51 and just loving every minute of this and can't wait to get into it and realizing that childlike nature still has to be there.
It's
And
always
I can't
there.
let go of it.
It's
I love
always
so much
there,
fun.
no
It's
matter
like you
how
had-
old we get.
You mentioned something about your child running to the beach,
Oh, yeah.
running from the beach into the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
I
100
still
miles
do
an hour.
that. I still
Well, yeah, I bet you do. And that's
Just- just
and
go,
that-
you
and
know?
that's
Yeah.
wonderful. But
Yeah.
so you talked about being 51. You're about 51 or you are 51?
51.
Okay, so you're 51
Maybe
now.
over.
So because I got into it rather late too, I was 47. Tell me why 51? Why was 51 the point where you decided I'm going for this?
49 was when I decided.
Well,
to
okay,
do that.
49.
Yeah, 49 was it. And I
Something
know
about
50
those late
But when
40s. huh?
50 came, that's when I was there last year at 50.
Yeah.
And that was the turning point. I said, something has got to change. I have got to find my strength. And whether it's through prayer or just finding strength wherever I can through friends, words, books, anything, I'm going to find that strength. And then you just do one little thing sometimes and just putting yourself out there that one time, you find that strength and going, man, somebody does. And then you just start building off of it. It's just that ladder effect. You just keep building and building and building. And now, I'm in LA. Or even if you're in LA, you're still, maybe you're not completely into it yet, or you are, or you're not there yet, and you're still nervous.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second
that
because
comes,
because there's some really interesting things that you've done that a lot of people don't take that initiative. So we want to get into that a little bit as well.
Okay.
You were saying something about the child within you, and letting that child live and be out and keeping that aspect of your personality. And one of the things, again, we've been teaching workshops for a long time,
Right.
and we see this come up over and over and over again in our workshops, is that people are intimidated. They're self-conscious. They're so stuck in the groove that they've grown up in, and they're stuck in that belief system that tells them that they're going to be looked upon strangely or chastised or somehow punished if they step out of the bounds and if they do something that's not considered
Peer pressure.
normal. Yeah, peer pressure judgment, exactly. And that the thing that impresses me about you, and that I've noticed it's happened with me, I know it's happened with Penny, and the other people that we know in this business who are successful, have all reached a point in their lives where they make that conscious decision. It has to come down to a conscious choice where, okay, this is what it is. This is what's been going on. I'm just not going to accept that any longer.
I'm
That's
going
it.
for
I'm
Yeah.
I'm moving forward.
Well, with me at 47, it was actually 48 before I actually had the
Epiphany?
courage. I had the courage to come take classes, but it happened earlier than that. But I looked at it and said, okay, I'm almost 50 years old. So all my life I've done for other people. I was a mother and a wife. I am still a mother and a wife. But I had other responsibilities for all of my life. For almost 50 years. So, all right, my kids are grown. They're doing well. My husband's doing well. Now it's time for me. So that was part of mine, was just saying it's my turn to follow my dreams. Because, Bill, when you were talking about the fact that you always knew it was there, if you can't go a whole day without thinking about something, then you know it's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when it's in performance,
Yeah.
you can't. I mean, it's a God-given talent, what you have. God gave you that talent for a reason. And I believe he doesn't give us talents he doesn't expect us to use. So for me to be a grateful person for the talent that I have been giving, I need to use it. And in my particular case, I need to share it with others so that they can also realize their dream and use their God-given talents. Right? You
Right.
agree
yeah.
with that?
Yeah.
So I think maybe it takes, most people, did me anyway, and it sounds like for Bill to some extent, it took almost being 50 years old to say, time's running out. We all kind of make that decision at some point in our life is, I have a limited amount of time here. What am I going to do? And mine was in 10 years, when I'm 57, I don't want to look back and say, I wish I'd done that. I would have been doing that for 10
I
years
would
now.
have total
I don't
regret.
want those,
Mhm.
I
Live in
wish
regret
I
for the rest
had.
of my life.
Yeah. I don't want that kind of regret. And I'm real glad I didn't. Glad I went for it when I did. And I applaud you for doing it too. Because there's really no age in voiceover, you think?
No. Well,
No, there
heck, June Foray
Yeah.
still doing voiceover
Exactly.
work.
In her
Not
90s.
a lot,
In
but
her 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
and she's in her 90s. Lucille Bliss, who was one of the original Smurf voice characters,
She worked right up
She
until
was
the day she died. I
just
think.
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Applaud them for
Oh,
sticking
yeah.
with it and just
Yeah.
doing
But
what they do. And
The
won't
only, I wax philosophical sometimes, but really the only person that can stop us from reaching our dreams is us.
Is us.
So,
There's something not to.
Bill and I have been having discussions about the power of just asking for what you want.
Hmm.
And the very fact that with that first little email, when he said, well, did you want me to perform? It was a misunderstanding. But when he wrote that, I thought, well, heck yeah, kid, what do you got?
Yeah.
He asked. If he hadn't asked, who knows? We probably wouldn't be sitting here today.
Yeah. So that's actually a perfect setup for Play That Funky White music. Or Play That Funky Music, White Boy. Well, whatever it is.
It is basically funky white music.
It is. It is.
White boy trying to play funky music.
Play That Funky Music, White Boy.
Right, right.
So we're
Well,
going to
let's
play
play
the
that.
video.
Yeah,
This
play
is, by the way, this is on YouTube. So
Uh-huh.
you
And
can.
on my website, BillRussellVoiceActor.com too.
Oh,
Great.
it's wonderful.
Right on
You'll
there.
love it.
So
Enjoy.
here's the video that inspired us to bring Bill into the Voice 2014 convention.
Right. Enjoy.
Hey, do it now. Hey, hey. Yeah, once I was a boogie singer, playing in a rock and roll band. Never had no problems, yeah. Burning down the one night stand. Seeing everything around me, yeah. I got to stop from feeling so low. And then I decided quickly, yes I did, baby, to just go down and check out the show. And then they were dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. And just when it hit me, somebody turned around and shouted, play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right. Play that funky music, white boy. Lay down the boogie and play that funky music till you die. Till you die. you die. Yeah. Now, first it wasn't easy. Changing rock and roll in minds, and things were getting shaky. I thought I had to leave it behind, but now it's so much better. It's so much better, baby. I'm funking out in every way, and I'll never lose that feeling. No, I won't. Of how I learned my lesson that day. And they were dancing and singing and moving to the groove. And just when it hit me, somebody turned around and shouted, "Play that fucking music, white boy. Play that fucking music nice. Play that fucking music, white boy. Lay down the boogie and play that funky music till you die. Till you die. Oh, till you die. Woo. I gotta play that funky music. Play that funky music. Play that funky music. Got to keep on playing funky music. Play that funky music. Play that funky sound. Play that funky music.
What'd you think?
Yeah, we hope you like that. That
I
was,
loved it.
I mean, the first time that Penny and I saw that video, well, Penny, you describe
Well,
it. Describe the
I saw it
situation.
first, and I
She
was
just
sitting-
liked the hair.
Yeah,
What was
I
that
love
hair?
the hair. I
A little
love the
poof
hair.
of poof. A little poof of curly stuff on top. That was from my grandfather, the
Uh-huh.
Harvey and me. And it was just sitting there, just bouncing that baby up and down.
Yeah, bouncing his head. That was wonderful. But he sent that over to me, and I was sitting in my office down the hall here at the Voice Acting Academy, and I was in there just laughing, enjoying it. Just I loved his energy, and it was just so obvious that you were having a great time.
Yeah.
So I came down. I said, "Jim, you got to watch this. I think we found our entertainment for voice." And he looked at it and he said, "You're right.
Yep.
You're absolutely right."
At that point, you know, you and Penny started communicating
Mhm.
further, and
Right.
and that led into other conversations, because up to that point we didn't really know that you were a composer songwriter.
Mhm.
We knew you were the singer and you were an accomplished musician, because
Right.
musically that
Wow. Yeah.
that video just knocked us out of
Yeah,
the water.
I learned how to play like that when I started, not in high school, but as soon as I moved up here, I kept playing steady. And then I heard, and if you don't know if you've ever heard this guy, Michael Hedges, he died in his 30s, and was just, he transformed it. And he's from Palo Alto, and, or lived in Palo Alto and performed in Palo Alto, or Wyndham Hill Records found him. And just this style of playing, no one did it. There were a lot of two-handed players, you know, like Eddie Van Halen and whatever else that were doing that little tapping, but nobody transformed the acoustic guitar like he did.
Mhm.
And then I was just totally inspired to be able to play like that, because I had an aggressive playing style, and just constantly playing, I'd break strings constantly. So I had to figure out a different way to play it, and then play that funky music. White Boy just popped in my lap one day. I said, let me see if I can try it. And I'd already been playing that way for a while. But then when that happened, I'm like, that transformed every style that I play now.
You were talking about that particular piece influenced your performance style.
Right. Yes.
And that happens in voiceover work. I mean, I've seen people who see another voice actor do something, or they're at a workshop and there's one little bit of information that comes out of the workshop. In fact, we had that happen in one of our workshops. Just to quickly tell the story, Penny and I were discussing one of our concepts of performance, and one of our students was actually sitting on the floor just scribbling down notes, scribbling. And, you know, we noticed that. And as we're wrapping up our discussion on this particular concept, I looked down and I asked her, well, you know, why are you taking such vigorous notes? And she told us that she was an actor. She said, I've been acting for 15 years and I've got an audition tomorrow. And this concept, in all the 15 years that I've been acting and attending acting classes and workshops, nobody has ever explained that concept the way you just explained it.
Right.
And I have an audition tomorrow and I'm going to use it. So I said, well, cool. Come back next week, because we were doing, it was an 8-week class we were teaching. And I said, come back next week and tell us how it works out. And she said, okay. So next week comes around. She comes back in the class just beaming. And we said, well, okay, something worked. Something worked out nicely. What was it? And said, well, I used that concept on the audition the day after class. And the people at the audition pulled me aside and they told me privately, we don't know what you were doing, but whatever it was, keep doing it, because your audition was so far above everybody else. So by that point, they still hadn't cast the part, so we don't know if she actually got it at that point.
She did.
I think she did.
Yeah.
But just the mere fact that she was able to
I love when that happens.
to take one thing that she learned in our class and apply it actually to something different, to a different aspect of performance, because she did it as an on-camera acting class. And to be able to take the concept and put it into that and have it work as effectively as it did was it was just wonderful, just
Isn't it
wonderful.
so good to know that that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
testament to what you've in your classes and training, and knowing that what you did not only just inspired somebody but helped them win
Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
Yeah, we call
absolutely.
that the light bulb moment.
Yeah.
And I swear you can almost see the light above their head.
Mhm.
It's just in their faces, like, I got it.
They just get it.
Finally
They get
got it. And I've seen people that have struggled trying to get a particular concept, and then all of a sudden, I might say something to them that's even been said to them before, or Jim might, and all of a sudden it clicks.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So and
Inspiration from others is a very valuable
yeah.
thing.
So and that's why Penny and I, if any of you know us very well at all, you know that we always encourage our students to take as many workshops as you can
From as many
from as many different coaches.
Yep.
Absolutely.
and never stop learning.
Never stop learning. No, we do not claim to be the end all coaches in voiceover,
Yeah.
and we're a really good start.
Yeah, we are.
And we know a lot of great coaches out there. So we always encourage people to go out, take classes, even if you only learn one thing from a coach. It's worth the price of admission.
right.
It absolutely is, because you'll have that forever, and you'll be able to use it and adapt it and apply it to your own performance style. Anyhow, we digressed a little bit,
No,
and we got off of the topic just a tad, but it was still worthwhile.
But we wanted to talk to you, just a little bit about how the song Better Than Ever became the song for voice.
Yeah, how did that come about? Now, just to kind of bring everybody back up to speed, because we mentioned this earlier
Right,
in
right.
the video here. Originally, when we were creating and developing Voice 2014, we had talked with Rodney Salisbury. He had a song. He had come down to San Diego and taught a workshop on promos and trailers earlier in the year, and we talked to him. And he had a CD. Rodney's a very accomplished singer,
Yes.
and he had
gave me a copy.
he had a copy of the CD, and there was a song on his CD called "Better Than Before," which, for those of you that attended Voice 2014, that was the opening song on the opening program.
I sang backup.
And Penny was one of the backup singers, and Rodney was. It was great. It was just awesome.
Wonderful fun.
And we
It
had
really was.
4 of our students and staff, actually, all staff members were the backup singers for Rodney, and it was awesome. But Better Than Before was the opening number for the convention, which worked perfectly as the setup for the next 3 or 4 days, for that whole conference. But we needed something more. I wasn't really happy with Better Than Before as being the main theme for the convention, so I kind of upped the ante and made it Better Than Ever.
Well, and also too, Better Than
preface
Before was
that, yeah.
Rodney's.
That was
his
Rod.
thing.
It was his
song.
thing.
That's
That was his song.
that he sang on his
Right.
album. So when we found another songwriter,
Yeah, we found out that Bill actually not only sang,
yeah,
was an incredible musician, but that he also wrote music. It's like, really? And that's when Penny approached him
I
And
just said,
s-
hey, you want to write
I
a
have
song?
to say that, even with those children's books being because through that Me Genius connection, I became a children's author with sing along songbooks,
Mhm.
and that was how they found me through that Funky Music White Boy video.
Oh, they
No,
found you
they
through-
didn't find me through that. I beg your pardon. She saw it and she said, "Why don't you write a couple of books for us?
Well,
I
there
think
you
you've
go.
got it in you. You've got the chops. Go for it." So I had a
That
couple.
song's
went
done
for it.
really well for you then, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
That idea. And so and actually I did it for a telethon. I was going to try to get on telethon. I didn't get it, but that's why I got to this. So so the idea of writing the children's books and using that platform for writing, that's when you guys said, I just showed it to her. I'm just like, okay, I put it out there, put it in the universe and said, see what happens. And I showed it to her, and you showed it to Jim and you. And that's when you said, okay, let's see if you got the
Yeah.
idea to write this
You know,
song better than ever.
And it really wasn't a big decision. I
Oh,
mean,
well,
it was,
thank
we always talk about decisions that we make for the business, but I mean,
Aw.
that day it was,
No, that was.
There was
Then you
never-
knew from that
It
point.
w-
there was
didn't
no
take a lot of
question.
thought.
No,
Man.
we knew that was what we wanted.
That's cool.
In particular for the energy
Mhm.
that you put into that song. We
Well,
knew
when you
that's
came
what
up
we
with the
wanted.
line "better than ever,"
Mm-hmm.
man, was that hard.
Was
I mean,
it?
Really?
It was really. I mean, it was hard to think, how am I going to put this in a song? How am I going to talk about things that are just going to be better than ever when we feel like the whole world is crumbling around us?
Mhm.
We've got to force ourselves through prayer and through recognition that we've got to, especially with the PTU group, to think positively, to
Right.
force yourself to think positively, that there will be better things. Things will be better than ever. They can't keep getting bad. They have to get better.
Right.
And even with the downs, there's something there that's going to keep getting better. You're going to use that to be better, a better person. And then I thought, well, how am I going to use that? How am I going to transform that? And I thought, what about our connectivity? We as people in the community need to support each other and letting it know it's going to be better than ever, that together we can make it better than ever. And then that be a trip, a trip from where you are to where you want to be. Me as Nashville to Los Angeles.
Right.
And you see that trip in your mind. So I'm like, okay, let's just make that a trip and talk about it being better than ever, jumping in that car and getting into where it's going to be better than ever. Even if it moved from Buffalo, New York to Syracuse, New York, or even that
It's
far.
moving.
It's moving and moving to a better yourself. And so I took that and made the song with a little ukulele melody that I came up with.
And a kazoo.
And a
Yeah.
kazoo.
Yeah.
The kazoo came just after that. I said, the zoo, I've got to use this kazoo. Got to use it.
I absolutely love the kazoo because I mean, let's face it, you don't hear kazoo all that often.
No,
But
no.
I could just see so many possibilities for that kazoo, which we can talk about in a couple minutes. What
Yeah.
you did with that.
Yeah.
But it was just it was so full. It's like the song "Happy," right?
Yes, yeah.
It makes you feel good when you listen to it. It does.
Cool.
You know, it just really brightens your day. And I love there was one line in it about joining hands in solidarity, which was all about what we were doing at Voice, was helping each other, joining each other to make all of our dreams come true. So I love that line.
And I must say that when we approached you with the idea of writing the song, of
Right.
doing a theme song for the convention, we didn't give you any
No,
direction.
none.
No direction, no input. All
Just
we
the
gave you was,
title, that was
hey,
it.
and all we said, and that didn't even have to be the title. It didn't even have to be within the lyrics. It was just, okay, this is the theme of the convention.
Right.
Right.
We need it. We need a theme song.
Man,
You
boy, did I
delivered.
misunderstand that one. Thanks. After all this time, I thought you did say
Well, see,
that.
our
I thought
whole-
you were like, make the title this. No, you didn't?
No,
Seriously?
seriously. It's now here. This is the theme of the
I love
convention.
when
But-
things happen
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah,
It
well, see,
was-
it seems like our entire relationship, Bill, is based on miscommunication.
Yeah, I
So-
love it.
That's-
And
We're-
figuring out how to communicate.
Exactly.
I prefer
I love that.
serendipitous.
That
It
works-
is a
that works too.
Because
Yeah.
I like to say that word. It sounds
Serendipity.
serendipitous.
Yeah, you just,
It really truly was. I mean, it happened
was.
exactly the way it was supposed to happen at exactly the right time.
Mhm. Yeah.
It did.
how long did it take you from the time that Penny asked you, go ahead and see what can you come up with? Do you remember how long it was between that and the time that you sent us a scratch track file?
We wasn't in a year. It was a year before
It was about a year, a little over a year before, about a year before the
Funky
convention.
Music White Boy tour. It was about a
Yeah.
year before that.
Right.
And or no, I'm sorry, a year before
For
Voice 14.
the convention,
It was
sure.
2013. It was during that time period, so it was right before Christmas, I
Mhm.
believe.
I think it was.
It was
yeah.
before Christmas that you asked me
Mhm.
about that and say, "Can you come up with?" And that was really quick. After you saw those, it was like less than a week. You
Mhm.
asked me, and then I just started working on it over the weekend
Mhm.
and through the Christmas holiday. And then by January, I had something rough, and I had the kazoo, and that's when it came about. And I had something, a little bit different than what I've got now, but it still was pretty much there. So it was about February by the time I finally had just a scratch
May have
track.
actually been before that.
And then my close friend, Rich Eckhart, who is, I'm plugging names here because it's kind of cool that,
Sure.
I mean, anybody can help. This is Toby Keith's lead guitar player. Just popped out of the green and said, "What do you think about this little change that you can make here to augment that when the kazoos come in?" So it's just, and
This-
I'm still a novice at playing ukulele, and then I just changed the key,
Mm-hmm.
and then change the key back up to the original key after that, and it all just worked. It's like one thing after another just kept falling into place.
It worked.
And it's, I mean, whether it's a Grammy Award winning song or not, it's still one of those where everything, even with anybody's song, once it starts, that steamroller just
Mhm.
will not quit.
That's right.
And it might take you 2 months. It could take you 2 nights,
Mhm.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Prince or whatever, some of those cats can write a song in a night, or a
Mhm.
day.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just basically augment it from there, building instruments on it. But when
Mhm.
that happened, that was when I just had the ukulele,
Yeah. Well, the original track
which
was
is ukulele and kazoo.
ukulele, kazoo, and your
and me
and
and
a-
backing, maybe a backing vocal. That was it.
No, it was just your primary vocal.
Oh, it
no,
was,
there
right.
were there was no chorus.
No, there wasn't. A
No
chorus.
backing vocals at all. It was only there was 3 parts:
Right.
you, the ukulele,
And
and
harmony,
the
maybe. That
and
was
the
it, yeah.
kazoos.
And then
No,
you
there weren't
did-
even any harmonies on it.
I don't think so. Not
No,
the original
you did it.
one.
Okay.
You did. It was solo, and that was the
So-
original track that I got, and I listened to that, and I still have that track. It's still on my phone. I'll listen to it.
I don't even know where it is anymore.
Yeah, I
It's
can.
on
I
my
can.
computer.
I can get you a copy.
Thank
So,
Man,
But-
plenty. Thank you, sir.
yeah,
You never,
but-
never leaves any, never gives up anything, do you?
no.
Never.
Never.
I like that.
But I listened to that track, and as I'm listening to it, I'm realizing this is really, really nice. Really like what it is. And there were some glitches, a couple of missed
And
notes,
it's
and
just 3
clubs.
chords too. It's
Right.
not
But- but yeah.
fancy,
yeah, nothing really fancy. The simplicity was part of the charm of the song.
right?
And I'm thinking, well, I could use this. This is perfect. This would work really, really well. But it would be so much better
I
if it
could
was
see the mind
if it
turning.
was
The gears.
orchestrated.
Orchestrated.
He was like a kid that just discovered
Yeah,
a
I could
whole
hear. I
bunch of
could
candy.
online. I could hear the gears turning while we were on the
Yeah.
phone, just
Uh-huh.
going.
Oh, but if it had this and what about that? It was Christmas morning around
Yeah.
here.
So then we had that telephone call, and I said, "Hey, Bill, I love the song. It's awesome. It's great. What would you think about orchestrating it?"
Yeah.
And
Putting a big band, big orchestra
having
behind it, yeah.
having strings and backup vocals and harmonies, and what do you think about that? And what was your original reaction to that?
You're nuts.
Do you know how much
Completely
that
nuts,
would
man?
cost?
I don't know how to do that. I don't know any. Well, but all of a sudden, a big light bulb went off, and I involved another friend who, bass player named Sean O'Brien Smith. Bro, you and Rich, baby, boink. He popped in, and because I was doing the Me Genius stuff, and I knew he was doing orchestration for film,
Mhm.
doing film composing, and I just sent it to him. Actually, we had no. First, we said, "Who can we use?" And we tried to find some online.
Oh, that's
online
right. Yeah,
group,
we
I
tried.
think,
We tried some
and
online.
found 1 or 2, and thought maybe that might, but
Yeah.
I wasn't really chuffed with it until I asked Sean, and Sean, he came through like I just
Oh, it's
like
amazing.
nobody's business.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And how many tracks did it end up being?
Oh.
With not what he gave you, but how much did it end up being?
Well, the way the project came together.
This is fun. This is
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
into any orchestration and recording. This is
In
so
fact-
cool how this was put together.
And Bill did all
Yeah,
the
he
performance.
offered to do this whole mix for me. And it was
Yeah,
such
Bill
a
did the
blessing,
performance,
man.
and I said, "Okay, well, do the performance, and I would really like to do the mix down on this because I love doing that stuff." And So Bill and Sean kept sending me tracks, and I kept building the tracks into the project, and setting up the layers and setting up the balance, the stereo balance between left and right, and what parts were going to be where. Because basically everything that came into me, for the most part, was mono. It's like a the
Here we go.
yeah
The intricacies of you ready?
yeah some of the harmony lines were all sung mono. But then Bill went a little bit crazy and gave me probably
5-part harmony.
five-part harmony at least.
Yeah.
I think there's 6 in some places.
Yes.
Amazing.
And so, but all I had was a monaural track. So it was up to me to figure out how am I going to place these 6 harmony parts, the 6-part harmony, in a stereo spread so that it sounds nice and it fits with his lead vocal and with everything else that's going on. So that's part of the fun that I have in music mixing. But you guys kept sending me tracks, and I'm looking at these tracks, and I listened to the individual tracks, and some of them were really, really cool, really pristine. A couple of the tracks were distorted or had an issue with it or
Right,
something.
and then
So
go back and fix it.
yeah, so I'd let them know, and they'd fix it and send me a new
It was a
track.
very
and there it was.
collaborative effort.
Via all email. That's
Yeah.
what I love about everything
Yeah.
we've done online via email.
Yes.
We rarely talked. We did a couple of times, and it was hard to even hear the mix over the phone or even try
Right.
to get a stereo mix or anything what you were doing. But it was all done email communication. No, we don't like this. Change this and staple it. Not staple it, but
Stay
Cut!
with
Okay.
Remix.
edit. And but yeah, it was one of those where I would say here's where I'm hearing number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'd label that and we'd fix it, and then it would be something that was wrong. But it was just the way that he worked it with all of his time and effort. I say I wouldn't have been able to afford this. And this was something he gave out of the goodness of his heart, and it was part of his project anyway. But it was a lot of work, and it ended up being how many tracks?
There are
overall?
76 tracks
Oh,
in the
like
project. Yeah,
76.
76 tracks. Some of those tracks are stereo because, like,
Yeah.
when you guys would send over some of the brass parts,
Yeah.
that was already in a stereo spread, so that was really nice. Some of the strings were in stereo already, so those came out nicely. There's one thing that I distinctly remember was it was like a bass drum
Oh, yeah.
part during the end. When you get to the end of this, it moves into like a John Philip Sousa march, which is awesome.
It goes a lot of
You know,
different.
we ought to go ahead and play the video and then explain more about it so they'll know the reference because we just keep talking and building.
Well,
building.
I want to just give this
Okay,
one
okay.
reference because when they hear it, they'll know what it is. Because there was a big bass drum part that was one of the tracks that Sean sent over, and it just didn't work. It sounded, I can't exactly describe
Yeah,
how it
something
sounded,
was just
but it
didn't
just
work.
didn't work.
Yeah.
So, being a sound designer and audio producer, I have a huge sound effects library. I went into my sound effects, found a bass drum, and brought the bass drum into the project, tuned the bass drum to the right pitch, and made about a zillion copies of that one bass drum hit and spaced them out appropriately
Right,
on the
right.
beats, and I had a new bass drum. So that, I replaced an entire instrument line.
It's all done on this.
And it was
You-
all
you
done
have
on-
to do it all in a studio with 2.5
Yeah.
inch tape and splicing the tape. Now
Yeah.
we can do it.
All
This-
all
I
done
love it.
all done digitally on the computer
Mhm.
within my project software, and it came together. The 76 tracks, I mixed it down. I think we ended up with, was it 13 or 15 different mixes by the time we got done?
About 15
Probably
or 16.
15. I think 15 or 16. And so and
It
each
was
of
so
those
much fun.
each of those had minor little adjustments, little tweaks here and there, a change in in a positioning of one of the harmony parts or something. Lots of little adjustments until we got the tweak and got it adjusted just right. And I'd be listening to it on my big speakers in the studio, on little speakers, on headphones, and just listening to make sure that the sound was the best it could be in all different modes. And then I'd send it over to Bill, and he'd listen, and he'd send it to Sean, and Sean would listen, and it was very collaborative. So anyhow, let's watch the video,
Woo!
Right.
because then
Finished.
after we show you the video, then we can talk about how the video came about, where all the ideas. Because
Yes.
then If we talk about the video now, there won't be any reference
I'm not
to
gonna
it.
say
So
a thing about it.
No.
What's on it? Nothing.
no, because we've talked about the song itself.
Yes.
And how that came together and the whole production of the song. So let's watch the video, shall we?
Yes.
Here it is.
Thank you. Roly poly lady Ray.
Hey, do you see what is happening? Eyes are opening now to see. Each one has responsibility. Let's hold hands in solidarity. Hey, can you see where we're traveling? One heart, our one destiny. Jump in, there's lots of room for you and me. Straight ahead, it's better than ever. Over mountains, through the valleys, around the lakes and in the sky. We've set our sights on where we're going. No dreams too far, no dreams too wide. Hey, can you see where we're traveling? One heart, our one destiny. Jump in, there's lots of room for you and me. Straight ahead, it's better than ever. Signs say we're at our destination. You see what is happening? We've left our fears at home alone. Can you see where we're traveling? Our dreams have been our motivation. Do what you love, our cornerstone. Better than ever I see, better than ever I dream, better than ever. Hey, do you see what is happening? Eyes are opening now to see. Each one has responsibility. Let's hold hands in solidarity. Hey, can you see where we're traveling? One heart, all one destiny. Jump in, there's lots of room for you and me. Straight ahead, it's better than ever.
Okay, we're back.
And
What'd you think? What'd you
What'd you
think?
You like that?
Did you like it? They
Yes, I
inspired me to
liked
do it.
it.
You like the puppets? Do you like the puppets with the
I
sticks?
love the
That
and the
was-
hands holding the puppets?
Yeah.
Nothing. I left nothing up to chance. I didn't care. Throw it out there. Just let it be as pure as possible and fun. That's
Yeah.
all I wanted it to
It
be.
was all about fun. And
That's right.
I think you nailed it on the head.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just a fun video, and it works really well for the song. Because I remember shortly after we had the voice convention, and we were talking about things, and we were having a conversation about something. I said, I'd really like to do a video of Better Than Ever. What do you think? And you like the idea of the video, but neither one of us really had a concept at that
Right.
point.
And I thought, okay, it's going to benefit me as much as it will you guys.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, let's just do it. And I just took it upon myself. It was a labor of love. No money was exchanged. I just wanted to do it because I wanted to try to do it. And God bless this guy named Tim Fagan, who was in Murfreesboro, and now he's moved to Colorado. But he was in Murfreesboro, filmmaking guy, a film guy working for different other projects all over the state and United States. But he was a production guy, and he said, "Bill, I want to do this with you.
Cool.
Can I help you with this?" And no money. Well, I gave him a little bit of money. I paid him some, and he was happy to get whatever he got. He said he didn't care. He said, just, whatever you can afford to give me. So I did pay him. I was like, oh God, did I do that for free? No, I did pay the guy.
Yeah.
And that was 3 days of filming, and with my son, and my son and I and his wife helped a little bit too, but he did all the filming there in
that's
his.
great.
And if you saw at the end of it, when you had the
Right.
the pullback, it was in his dining room. The
Really?
paneling. The paneling in his dining room, right there. We
I
had moved the
love it.
glass table forward a little
Uh-huh.
bit to put props on, and so everything was done on his dining room and dining room table. And he just pulled up just a big green screen in the back.
Oh, awesome.
That's it. I loved it. It's like
So
talk
much
about
great.
raw.
That's great.
That was great.
That's
It's better
great.
than in the bathroom or something. It's just
Oh, yeah.
it's raw.
Yeah. But it's
Oh,
so
I
much
think
fun.
great.
It's
just
such it's
fun,
such
and
a
that was kind of the whole point. Right?
So where did the idea of the puppets come from?
Well, I had already had myself. Of course, I had already had my business cards done. I'd already had the artwork done, and it was with a guy named Adam Taylor, and he's out of Great Britain. And he was one of the Me Genius guys who was going to be doing my next book, The I See Dinosaurs with My Eyes Closed, which is the title of my EP,
Mhm.
title song. And I said, would you be considering of that? And he asked me, no, I didn't even ask him that. I said, would you think about, he asked me, would you like to do some voiceover for me sometime? Because I told him about the book. He asked me, how much would you charge for doing animation acting? And I said, well, let me think about it for a little while. And I was like, I could pull my chart out. And then I went, ding, could you draw a caricature of me? And I'd be glad to do it after that. Just give me a caricature, like something I could use and use for my business. And he came up with that
The
one, the very
caricature.
first character that you see.
Mhm.
And so I went, I've got this character, and I knew how to play with a publishing program. So I just transformed it from myself being all the characters to being the drummer, which was my friend
Oh, cool.
Glenn Williams, who had the hair cut, and
Uh-huh.
I just basically cut my hair off and just put a whole new thing and just printed it all out and just made this really unique thing of characters. But they were still all me. Even my son was in it, the little redheaded gonging toward the
Uh-huh.
end. I put red hair on him, and he colored his little chest with a CR on it, so we'll know it's Clyde Russell. And so that was the fun part. And then just going, I just want to do them stick puppets. Make it a stick puppet video, make it cute, and make it inspirational at the same time. And I don't know if stick puppets can be inspirational, but it's just cute and clever. I thought.
Yeah.
Pat myself on the back here.
I
didn't
think
mean
it
the
is
clever
very cute and
part, but it was just cute. And I thought that's the only way I could think of it. So I just took it upon at that point, built a mountain, drew a mountain out, designed it, did the what was it, the heart, everything was cut out, cardboard cutouts or construction paper cutouts, and then just put on sticks, big sticks.
I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, it's a fun video,
It's just-
really
it's
fun
wonderful.
video.
Thank you guys. I hope you liked it. That
Yeah.
was,
So if you
that was
like
fun.
it, share it with everybody you know.
please.
Yeah.
So
Sherry would like this thing to go viral.
We'd love nothing more than that. That would be
Wouldn't we all?
awesome.
Wouldn't we all? Let's make it go viral.
That would be
I
awesome.
think we can.
Yeah.
Just
We
keep
can, too.
sharing it and sharing the song because it's a song of hope. It's a song of love. It's a song of follow your dreams and don't stop until you
Yep.
get to where you
Mhm.
need to get there to go. Or
Exactly.
Get where you need to go.
It's a fun song with a great message to it, and
Yes.
the message
And it's everybody can relate to it.
everybody
That children
can.
and adults
Yeah.
Yes.
will like it. I
Yeah.
think that the children will listen to it more because they'll be attracted by the puppets initially. But then I think that the message is going to be there. That's going to get through
Yeah.
as well.
And musically, in the music industry, there's this thing called a hook, which is the catchy melody line, or it's the part of the song that you can't stop singing.
Mhm.
And I must say, as I was working on the project, I couldn't stop humming and singing that song.
It
Yeah,
happened
this
to
would
me.
happen.
It was
You know, that happened
It's
to
a
me.
cool tune.
It happened to me actually right after you sent me the very first one. I found myself singing that all day long.
But
That
I,
was just the very first one.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, it's such a catchy little tune. But there's one thing about it that I've always wondered. Roly Poly Ladue, whatever.
Roly Poly Lay Duray.
Ladure. Okay.
Okay.
So,
That's at the very beginning.
Roly Poly Lay Duray. Two things popped in my head because I did that. What was it? Def Leppard. You know,
mhm.
that they have right at the very beginning, it's Uten, Gleben, Glauden, Globen, whatever. I don't know what they're saying. And it just goes right into, it's like a countdown
Uh-huh.
for the song to start and give you a count off rather than,
Right.
sticks or whatever. So I did the roll and I'm like, well, what words could I use? I didn't know what I did. And all of a sudden, another line popped in my head. Was it Foley Oly Ray Do Day? Foley Oly Ray Do Day.
Mhm.
And it was from a Young Ones episode, another British
Oh.
comedy,
Uh-huh.
and it was stupid. I mean, it was when MTV started doing a lot of comedy, skit
Mhm.
comedy, and they brought this British import in, and it was just foul, but it was fun. At the time, I was in college, and it was something different.
Mhm.
And they had this part where they had a hippie come into the scene. He was like a hippie knight, and he just walks in. He's like, okay, he's on the side of a hill, pops out of a refrigerator, and one guy is standing next to him, and all of a sudden he holds the flower out and he goes, Foley Oldie Ray Do Day. And that's all he does. And he stands there and he says, when the guy next to him, he goes, whoa, a hippie night. Yeah. But the line stuck in me, Foley Oldie Ray Do Day. So I made it Roly Poly Lay Do Ray. Just
Ah.
to change it around a little bit and make it
Uh-huh.
my own as a count off. And then
Mhm.
then the ukulele. Click,
Yeah.
click, 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 click.
It's a cool little catchy
I
thing at
like
the
it.
beginning. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I
was-
like
I was really inspired by George Harrison and the Beatles, of course,
Mhm.
but a lot of George Harrison when they did his I can't remember the name of it. You guys probably know it. The live performance when he passed away and they had the tribute to
him.
George Harrison. The guys used to sit around playing ukuleles. Paul and George and John, I think too, they would get around together on evenings and just sit there and bring out their ukuleles and just play songs together.
Hmm.
And as you know, toward the end, Paul pulls out a ukulele. Another guy, you remember the name of this guy? I can't remember. I didn't know who he was. Pulled out this beautiful ukulele, tiny little soprano, and just plucked away this old time, 1920s, 1930s piece. And then when somehow the Better Than Ever, that everything is just what
All the-
inspires you all over your life. But
all
that
the
was-
pieces
yes,
started falling
all
into
of it fell
place.
together.
Love
And
it
then
when
the
that
fun
happens.
video at the same time. And
Yeah.
it's just, it wasn't rock and roll, it wasn't pop. It was just an older type song. Nothing crazy about it at all, because once it starts out like a little quartet, little, drums, bass, guitar, ukulele,
Mhm.
and then the strings and the horns pop in with the backing vocals, and then toward the end, that's when it's John Philip Sousa
Yeah.
and Sgt. Pepper's all enrolled into one.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I love the progression of the whole piece.
Oh, yeah.
It just works so nicely.
It starts out so simply and then just builds so
Yeah, and
gradually.
when
and
you
so
watch
wonderfully.
when you watch it, leave comments or on the chat line below. Let me know what you're thinking
Well,
about that.
give them
'cause
the
it's so
give
cool.
give them the website
Yeah.
to where they can
Okay,
get
yeah.
that.
Bill Russell voiceactor.com, and it'll be in the video. When I get it up there, it'll be in the video link page. But I'm going to go ahead and post it to YouTube first, because it's so much easier for websites to be able to post it from there. To the website.
Right.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go ahead and post it to YouTube.
YouTube.
YouTube. We're going to post it to YouTube. Okay. So, well, anyway, it'll be under Bill R Guitar. That was when I first started my YouTube channel.
So that's your
ages
channel,
ago.
Bill R Guitar.
Guitar, and you'll be able to put in Better Than Ever too, because I think I've done it before, and I found a bunch of rock and roll pieces, but I think it'll go. I'll figure out a way to make it go right to it. But it's
Mhm.
Bill R Guitar, all lowercase, one line, one word, Bill R Guitar.
Mhm. And if they
um,
click on the YouTube link in your on your website,
when it'll be there,
Right.
yeah, they'll be able to they can capture the command line
exactly,
URL from that
Exactly.
for the actual video page once they get to it.
and click that little what's it?
Yeah, and then
Kind
leave.
of a three dot triangle, whatever, or
Yeah.
something like that to share.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and then of course leave comments on your page.
please do.
And
Please leave some comments. Good. I've had some bad ones. Be personally honest. I've had some bad ones, but not on this yet because I don't know. I don't
yeah,
know.
it
So-
hasn't been up yet.
Hasn't been up yet.
This is the premiere.
Or
This
has
is the
it?
premiere
Or
performance.
has it? You're lying.
There will be, there's always the critics. You
Yeah.
just have to take
So
them.
this is going to be fun. And like I said, it was a labor of love, and I'm so blessed that these people asked me to do this for them, and
Well,
it was fun. So
It was.
we're
what else are we
blessed.
going to chat into this with the live chat?
We're going to have a
There's
live chat
going on right now.
will be right after this. For some of you that came in late, if you wanted to get on the live phone chat, you can dial in with the phone numbers on the screen.
Yeah, who is
And-
this? Who's this? I'm Bill Russell. Yes, who am I? I don't even know. You have to put like little liners. Look, Bill Russell.
Yeah,
Put it right across the line.
they know who we are.
Voice Academy up here. Up here.
But
Voice Academy.
You got the conductor on
And
the
Bill Russell.
screens.
Right across here.
The phone chats, it's telephone. It's a telephone dial-in telephone conference call, and all the information is on the screen, so you can dial into that at any time, and that we'll be officially starting the phone chat when this video ends for the original start to end time. If that sounds
Exactly.
confusing, all that means is
I'm
this
confused.
is a pre-recorded video. It's a video web
Yeah,
conference, so it was scheduled to start at a specific time. But if you came in 5 minutes late and you click on the start button, well, it's going to start from the beginning, but 5 minutes late. So
Okay.
just keep that in
It's all
mind.
technical.
Yeah,
It's all technical.
yeah, don't worry
Hurts my
about it.
brain.
but if you came in 5 minutes late
It's
and
really okay.
dial in the phone number, that's on your screen, just call the phone number, be part of the chat. You can ask Bill questions. Penny and I will be here also. We're on the
Yep.
call.
Be there chatting with you.
And we'll answer your questions. Be happy to talk to you. Fill in any holes that we might have left open in this
Right.
conversation.
We're always happy to
Yeah.
talk to you.
And you can learn more about Bill's music. And
Yes.
in fact, they can get your CD, can't
Yes.
they?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
why don't I have my CD in my hand?
I don't
I
know.
I don't know. Hey, cut. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I can't believe I don't have the CD. Ow! Ow!
Oh, I think we should leave all this in.
So while Bill is off
Yeah.
back down to the car to get his CD,
Mhm.
we'll talk to you a little bit about Voice Acting Academy and what
Yeah.
we're doing. If you're not already on our email list, go to voiceacting.com. And on the right-hand side of the page, there's a form there to get on our email list. Just fill out the information, click on submit the form, and you'll start getting our promos. And also, while you're on our website, there are banners that go across the top of the homepage on our site. And one of those is for PI, Performance Intensive Event. And you can click on that banner. That will take you to the information page for our performance workshops. And you can register at the bottom of that page.
Mhm.
Also, we have a calendar which says coming events,
Right.
and you can click on that calendar and you can see what else we have coming up. We're working on the dates for the rest of the year. The main things you'll see on there is every Thursday you'll see Conductors Club. That's our membership site, and you can go to conductorsclub.com to learn more about that.
Mhm.
That's a monthly membership you get. We do brainstorming, masterminding, personalized coaching every week. We have a 3-hour video conference every week. And it basically works out to about $25 to be part of the 3-hour conference call every week. And if you were to ask the guys and gals who are on that video conference every week if it's worth it, they will tell you absolutely.
Mhm.
Because we cover things in those calls that you're not going to get anyplace else.
Yeah.
And Bill has returned,
Yay,
and
Bill's
we have a
back.
CD. He
So
has.
yes, got my little CD here. This is what it looks like, and it's on the website, BillRussellVoiceActor.com, and it's got 5 songs on there. The title song is "I See Dinosaurs with My Eyes Closed," which is I performed at the
Yes,
the 2014 event,
Mhm.
and it was so much fun. It was like a 1965 Bob
Oh,
Dylan.
it was
Yeah,
really
it's a fun.
It
There's
was
some
fun.
fun songs on
So
there.
I had to sing like Bob Dylan a little bit, like I was up Minnesota, and then try to sing like him a little bit when he's 1965 young guy. And then there's another one where I try to be I am a child.
Mhm.
I am a child, and it's
That's
sung
the
from the kids'
ABC
point.
song,
Yeah, it's
isn't
the
it?
ABC song that I
I
sang for
love
the
that
PTU
song.
breakfast. If you were there, and
Made all of us cry.
and I even took pictures of myself doing this number, going, with my eyes. Whatever. It was like a promo thing. So, but yeah, the children's song, and then there's another one called Glow in the Robot Skate Park, where I do morph my voice a little bit, change it because I wanted to sound like more like a robot at the time. But I just brought the key down a little bit and sang it, and then I raised it back up to the natural key, so it sounds a little bit off like a VeggieTale in a way.
Mhm.
And once you hear it, you'll know what I mean. But the rest of them are all character voices throughout the rest of the songs. And then this is actually the first song on there. Can't even remember the name of my own song. What is it? It's the song that is called. And does anybody know the first song on my CD? Does it?
Is this a test?
No, this isn't a test. The first song on a CD, I can't remember. Oh, it's The Things Our Bodies Do.
Oh yeah.
That one was with my voice, just
Yeah.
regular singing, and then there was
That's
another one.
very cute. The kids love that song.
Yeah. And another one that I have on the website that I'm selling is Building Blocks, which is just more like for 5 and 6 year old children.
Mhm.
So I love to try to do that, and I'm going to do more of it. It's just so much fun. But
Okay,
this was
so-
all extemporate fun stuff to do.
Mhm.
And that I had at the event, and that's what inspired me to get this done,
Mhm.
get the character done,
Yep.
and have that all prepared
For the video.
for the video.
Well, because we kept telling him this needs to be a video. This needs to go viral.
Yep.
The song is so much fun and makes you feel good, just like Happy did.
Mhm.
And that's what he did. He came
Yep.
through yet again for us.
Yes.
Shucks.
Yes. So his website again, BillRussellVoiceActor.com.
Yep.
And go to that website right now.
Right
It's
now.
$5.
Right now.
You know, it's $1 a song. You can also get it on iTunes, right?
Yes,
So
you can.
what are they, if they go to iTunes, what are they searching
Just,
for?
just search Bill Russell, and when you get down and then scroll down to the music area, because otherwise you're going to get Bill Russell audiobooks with the basketball player.
No,
And that's
that's
not
a
me.
different
I
Bill
am
Russell.
not that tall.
No.
And I'm not that old. Okay. Okay. That was Red Auerbach years with the Celtics, and then there was a Bill Russell for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Mm.
Shortstop for the Los Angeles Dodgers, but
But you're
that's
not
neither
in
one.
any of them.
No, you're not
Okay,
either one of
neither
those.
No,
No,
you are
you're-
yourself.
Though it
and we
was
like
cool to
you.
go to Atlanta and see my name up in lights at the baseball game.
Ah.
Bill Russell at shortstop. At shortstop, Bill Russell. I was like,
Wow. You're in
this is
two
awesome.
in two places at the same time.
It was predestined.
Yeah.
It was predestined.
Either that or very schizophrenic. One of the two. I'm not quite sure which.
I am schizophrenic.
Yeah.
So it's just,
But
It's
anyhow,
phenomenal.
BillRussellVoiceActor.com, $5. Buy the CD. Do it today. It's downloadable, so you'll get immediate access to the songs,
if you
and
want
you
to-
will love them.
yeah. And
Oh,
if you
yeah,
want
you
to,
will.
you can email me and I'll send you a hard copy,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and I'll just mail it to you in a little folder. That'd
So-
be great.
What's your email address?
Email address is bill@BillRussellVoiceActor.com. So you can email me that way and just say, hey, if you want a hard copy, I'll be glad to send you this little baby. It's got cool liner notes on the inside and contact information, and it's just it was very special. Very special to do this, and just to see what I could do, and if I could do it. And if voice came around, I probably would have delayed it off. But I said, that's it. I'm doing this. That is it. I put the foot forward.
You know, we've mentioned it before. That's what it takes. It takes making that conscious decision that you're going to do something.
Yep.
And
Moving
that
forward.
and it's moving yourself forward with your performance, with your business, with your life in general, whatever it is. It's making that conscious decision that it's time to move forward.
Move forward, people.
Yes.
Move
Excellent.
it.
So
it.
with
Get off
that,
the doofus system. Move it. With that, what?
so we're going to move forward
Yeah.
into
together.
into our
We should have been this close together. This is kind of
Yeah.
cooler.
we're going to
I
move
know it's
forward into
perspiring
the
again.
telephone conference
No
part
perspiration.
of this program. So if you'd like to join us, the number's on the screen. Dial into that phone number and the PIN code that you see on your screen, and we'll be there waiting for you to chat with you until we run out of things to chat with, or until it gets too late to chat.
No,
So-
start moving around.
One of those two.
Yeah.
And with that, we want to just totally thank Bill Russell.
Oh.
Thank you so
Jim.
much for,
Thank
for
you, Penny.
being
Y'all-
part of
y'all
the
are so sweet.
convention and for writing the song better than ever. It's amazing. We love it.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
And
it's going to go viral.
yeah,
See, I have
with
to
your
keep
help.
using that word because my grandkids don't think I know what that means. So
Yeah.
Nana says
Let's show
it's
her
going to
her
go
grandchildren
viral.
what it means.
So
Just
with
for
your
fun.
help, we
Just
can
for
take
fun.
the song viral, and it'll be amazing, and even more amazing than it already is. So with that, we're going to sign off on the video part of this. So join us on the telephone conference if you like,
Yeah,
and we
Call
will
up and
see
ask
you
a
there.
question. We'd
Tell
love
me-
to
call
hear
us up.
from
You
you.
like the soul patch? I don't care. Just tell me anything.
All righty. Okay.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you soon.